and I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by.
Who's this?
Hello. This is Jake. 6 months ago, I used to be the kid who weighed 144. I don't think you remember me.
I remember
But
you.
I did your programming. And, yeah. And I did your programming, and I just want to say thank you. And this is just a checkup.
Well, what do you weigh?
200.
You went from 144 to 200. And what'd your
Yes,
deadlift
around-
do?
Oh. My deadlift is at 355, but today's the PR week, so I have to wait and check.
All right.
And
Squat did what?
Yeah, squat is 350 for 2. I'm gonna try to do 325 today.
All right. 325 for 5, right?
No, 325 for 1.
Thought you said 355.
No, he said 350.
No, that was the deadlift. These are
315.
1 rep max.
What did he say squat
Yeah,
was?
315.
315. All right, good.
315. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're coming along nicely.
Hello, this is Yes Nutrition or Drake. I hope you enjoyed that little cutscene. This was take 2 of my 6-month progress journey. I didn't record last time, so I had to try again. And this is what I'm going to talk about the fitness world, what I think, my experiences, and what I went through for 6 months/3 years on my fitness journey. I'm going to give you a quick summary of my 3 years journey in general. Pretty much quick summary is 13 all the way to 16 now, present time. I went to 255 to 144 all the way to 200. During this time, I experienced people like Coach Greg, who gives me misconceptions about fitness, giving some body dysmorphia, and doing negative stuff to myself because, well, business, right? Etc. And the reason why I got into fitness is because my doctor said I have pre-diabetes, and I was not scared, but I realized that if I'm not gonna change, no one's gonna help me. Not my mother, not my mother. She's overweight, so she's not even gonna help me. And what I'm gonna do is change myself. So that's what I did. So during this time, I found out who was Coach Greg. I did his diet recipes, his high protein stuff, etc. I lost the weight. And during this time, he likes to say, if you don't have abs, you're fat. You have to lose weight. You have to do cardio. You have to do more cardio. Harder than last time, right? Harder than last time. Here all the time. Well, the thing is, a lot of teenagers watch his content like I did. Some of them are obese. Some of them think they're obese. Some of them are just skinny fat, right? They watch your content and say, oh, I can't see my abs. Oh, I'm fat. I have to listen to them, right? But they don't understand the point of actually probably going on bulk, realizing that, hey, you are under muscled, you don't have muscle mass to have a core. You know, eventually some of them might see a faint outline of abs, but they're very unhealthy at the same time. Abs do not equal health. When I was there, like 144 body weight, I didn't feel good. I was eating high protein recipes. My whole diet was high protein recipes. I was drinking 2-3 liters of diet soda, believe it or not. I was just terrible. The only reason I was fucking alive during that time in the body weight of 144, 30%, 12% body fat is because I had caffeine. I had a caffeine issue. Still have a little bit of a caffeine issue, but I had a caffeine issue, and I was a kid, right? I was a kid, so etc. I was starting myself in doing physical activity, 20,000 steps, etc. Thinking that I had to do better cardio. I had to I had to lift weights, right? And I was a little bit of a cardio junkie too, so even though I knew the point of lifting weights and getting stronger, like guys from Mind Pump who try to help me, I still watch their content today, but I get into that later. But who try to help me, I still listen to fitness YouTubers like him, or bodybuilders that give misconceptions and things in the fitness audience. In the fitness world, you have to be careful who you watch. Whatever you like the person or not, or whatever they're bigger on social media, typically some of them will have bad information or misconceptions about things. Even though I did lost weight and I was technically healthier on paper, I wasn't. Mentally, I wasn't healthier. I had a lot of stress on my body and mentally, just had stress. I was so physically active but so physically, like so unhealthy at the same time. You don't understand. You need calories, you need a lot of fat. My hormones was the best. I didn't have a lot of fat in my diet. I was consistently bloated because I thought eating more vegetables will be better for me. One thing that Coach Gray did said, which I have a fucking issue about him, and the misconceptions about that. And what I want to say that some of these kids, the younger audience, has to strength train. Don't worry about so much cardio. Get stronger. Eat more whole food. Eat more foods. And luckily during that time, after 2 years of spinning my wheels, I finally broke the habit of watching Coach Gray. I finally stopped eating all these processed foods. These homemade processed foods, by the way. These homemade high protein recipes. I'm not trying to demonize it because it's not terrible if you need something sweet in a pinch that has protein, but reality is if your whole diet is like that, then it's terrible. These homemade processed food, I stopped watching these bodybuilders and actually focus on more Mind Pump. I learned from Adam, Justin, and Stefano the things I had, the complication I had, what should I focus on, what should I learn, and then I stumbled to Revival Fitness. These are my shoutouts. Revival Fitness. Revival Fitness talked about the social media aspect for his teenagers and younger audience. He talked about people like Coach Gray that fucked him over and made him spin his wheels for 3 years. He talks about high protein recipes, etc. You get the gist, right? He is relatable. He helped me to break this barrier in my head, even though you're skinny, it doesn't mean you're healthy. And even though you might feel safe, it might be a negative, and you have to probably go on the bulk. You have to eat more. You can't be afraid of eating more. You have to get stronger. Stop doing all this cardio, especially if you're skinny. And he really opened my eyes to actually focus things on eating more, getting bigger again, and not being scared, not being so scared about gaining weight, or just not being so scared in general, right? And he teaches teenagers and even older audience that, hey, just because this happened or this someone said it with like a PhD, or someone who is in a fucking lab suit said something on the internet, you can't trust them. You just can't. Just because you're not smarter than that person, or just because this person seems legit, doesn't mean you can trust that person. That's no excuse to research your things, to try to find out more information about the person you're watching, or just understand, just trying to do research. If you can watch social media on your phone for hours and hours, stay inside, whatever age, 14 all the way to 63, you can research something if someone's wrong. Even my information, you can research and try to prove me wrong, and I will correct myself. So I just want to put that out there, research your things, right? And Revival Fitness pretty much opened my eyes to more fitness knowledge, etc. This one I stumbled on starting strength for plateau, talking about eating more, talking about cutting weight for teenagers is terrible because it's the time of their life. They're more active, they have higher estrogen, higher testosterone, etc. They have better thyroid, so they have to eat more. They're going to puberty, they have to lift weights, right? And what Ripto really said is that whatever, if you're skinny or fat, you still have to get stronger. That's starting strength. That's literally in the name. Starting strength, trying to get stronger, right? And I called him on January 27, I think so. January 27, I called him around 4 or 5 o'clock, January 27. And I pretty much state the facts. Hey, Rippertail, I have a body weight of 144. I am fit. During the time I just turned 16, October. So I just turned 16, and I just turned 16. I have a body weight of 144, and I have a waist of 31. And he'd been talking about literally what Rob Fitness did. He talked about, hey, he didn't say it like this. He said it in his Rippertail way, but he pretty much said it, and I'm gonna paraphrase that. Hey, you have to eat more. Just because you're tracked, you still have to eat more than you think you are eating now. You have to eat more. He didn't let me stay when I was overweight, but you have to eat more. I don't care. Do the program. Eat more. Drink a freaking gallon of whole milk if that works. And lift weights. And get back to me at 6 months, right? 6 months from now. And so I did. This was a live Q&A, right? So I did. I called him back 6 months later on June 4th at 4 o'clock. And that's the little cutscene you guys saw earlier. My progress videos, etc. I called him back. And I said, hey, Rippertail, do you remember me? Jake. I said my name was Jake, but my name is actually Drake. For anonymous, I just choose that. And Dusty, one of the co-workers, remembered me, and Rippertail talked to me. I told him what I did. I told him my list. He said I'm doing pretty good. He probably didn't expect for me to call after 6 months, but during that time, I was really just processing, tracking everything I lift. I was tracking hardcore, trying to make better training programs. I was trying to get stronger. I was eating more. I had to eat 4,500 to 5,000 calories. I was becoming more active. I had better hormones. My joints were feeling better. The benefits went off the chain. I told my list. I told him my squat went up to 325 for one. My bench press was 205. My overhead press was 155 for one, and my deadlift was 355. And I told him all that stuff, and I talked about different questions, right? But he pretty much just said I did pretty fucking good. Like, he said, good job, and that's it. But really what happened during that time was reflection. I reflected back 6 months ago what I was doing. And I could have spent my wheels for 3 years. But instead I asked for knowledge, asked for wisdom, asked for things to do, and actually gotten better in that process, and actually stopped spinning my wheels. That 6 months really made me reflect. It actually made me focus, really made me focus on pushing myself, you know? And he was shocked. I went to 144 to 200 quick, but he was proud. I sensed in his voice, in my opinion, or maybe, proud for me. And that really just made me smile. It made me just think and stuff, you know? And this video is for the skinny teenager or the overweight teenager to say, hey, you gotta research and you gotta think for yourself, man. No one's really gonna think for you. You only got yourself, and no one's gonna help you. Reality is, no one's whatever situation you can think of, oh, my mom takes me here or whatever, you gotta do it yourself. You gotta put the time, you gotta put in the work. If you're serious, if you're not serious enough, then you might not have the results that you might not be looking for. So, and this goes with everything throughout life, you know. But you have to be smart, and you have to do your own work to get the thing you want, you know. So after I called Rippertail, I throughout the time of my 6 month journey, I met Alex Bromosi. If I say his name wrong, if I say his name wrong, forgive me. But Alex Bromosi. And during that time, I figured out better training programs, better things, etc. Expand my horizons. I was still watching my pump, and I actually took their knowledge in consideration. Now I do a 4-day training program instead of a 6-day training program. Crazy, right? I do mobility at this age. I got stronger. My list went up, increased. And throughout this process, I learned a lot about wisdom, knowledge, and training, nutrition, and about myself, right? currently I'm at a body weight of 200 pounds. 2.5 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, almost, I started a mini cut. That's going pretty well, and I'm just trying to lose some body fat. Currently, I'm sitting at 20% body fat, and I just want to get down to realistically 15% body fat. I build muscle mass, I know I'm stronger, and I know I'm a healthier state of mindset than I were before. Especially at 144, I was very unhealthy, and you can make the argument 255 I was unhealthy. My whole life I was overweight, so you can still make the argument for both. But that's really it. I honestly, 6 months, I had just a mental attitude, not like monk mode, but more like just myself, because reality is I don't really got anyone else. I only got myself. So what's gonna benefit me more is just to keep practicing what I know the best and learn more about anything else than the stuff that I was taking in before when I was 13, 9, 10, etc. Right? And this video is just for the even older generations. Like, you still have to learn how to strength train. You still have to learn. Just because you know a little bit doesn't mean you know all. Even a younger generation who is arrogant, the older generation can be also arrogant. Both sides are arrogant enough. Both sides still have to educate themselves, and both sides can't trust anyone who is in a lab coat or has a PhD. It doesn't matter. People I listen to now are better. People I listen to with my own information, I even double check them, like My Pump, Mark Bill, Revival Fitness. I even check them. I even have my own beliefs, my own things that I think is wrong. They talk about, right? And they agree that is not wrong, right? So it's like you can't put people on a pedestal, or that person might take over your own life, and that will happen to me, right? So this video is just for a reminder to myself. This video is a reminder to people like you that went through this experience, and that reality is you can't believe everything. It's like a cliche thing, but you can't believe anything on the internet, right? It's so cliche, but it's so true at the same time. You can't. Fitness, life advice, anything, you can't believe everything on the internet, especially now. But what you can do is actually take the time to research. If you're not going to take the time to actually get more knowledge and wisdom, then honestly, you shouldn't even have a device. If you're not going to use the device to actually teach yourself to do something, you know? But yeah, I learned a lot of life lessons, dark teen all the way to 16. This 3 years was my most productive 3 years. Without these 3 years, it's going to take me longer to be productive, you know? The most productive, right? And I got a lot of people that trying to hold me back, but I experienced what I experienced. I'm happy I experienced what I experienced and learned from, because without that knowledge, I couldn't relate to other people who experienced that. So in a sense, I am grateful, but honestly, I could do things differently. But would I change something? No, not necessarily. And that's really it. That's really it for today's video. Honestly, got stronger, and mentally too. It's not just physically. So that's really it. If you guys relate to this video, please comment below. If you want more content, just suggest anything like this, or if you want more things about fitness or nutrition advice, you know, you can do that. And that's really it. This is No BS or Drake. Goodbye.